Hey Lisa, can you say something about the pain I'm feeling after being cheated on for months from the man I have been engaged to, and said at the same time that he loves me, etc.? Sure, I can. First of all, I need to ask, why did I attract that into my life? So you need to take responsibility back for that. Why did I attract that into my life? If you want to call in, you're more than welcome, but you have to know that it's recorded and will go on to be on YouTube. But people won't see you, they'll just hear you. But if you want to call in, then that would be helpful for me to go through that. So nice to see you again.
Hey. Do you want me to tell you quickly
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so basically we knew each other for over 10 years now. We were chatting like 10 years ago, and we Skyped a few times, and I didn't really remember him, but he never forgot me. And after 10 years, he then wrote me after he broke up with his previous girlfriend, which he was only with for 3 months or so. So we were talking on the phone for a whole year, every day for hours and hours, and then we met. And my first instinct really was like, honey, it's not going to work out with us. That's really the first thought I had. And so I was somehow, I didn't really want to be with him because I was also scared in general. And so really I did everything to just push him back, and at some point, yeah, it worked. And then after 3 months, I saw a picture of him that he was really thin, and like really, he didn't look good at all. And then I wrote him because I felt so sorry, and then we met, and then I fell in love somehow, and then we were together for a year, and we got like, he asked me if I would want to marry him very quickly. Then we moved in together into a total new city, where I spent all my money for an apartment, and I started studying. He started his trainee program because he's very ambitious with his career. Like that's everything for him. And so that was it. And now after a year, I moved out because I found out that even while we were moving into the new town, he was already looking for an affair, and he slept with so many women. He didn't even care for the looks. He just wanted to have, because he is working, I guess, 10 to 12 hours every day. He was just trying to escape somehow. And then I guess it also wasn't easy with me, but
yeah.
Like I didn't do anything bad. It was just that I think he wasn't ready, and I thought that maybe I saw already this maturity in him, which wasn't there really. And yeah, and then I very irresponsible. He slept with them without being protected. He, like I said, he didn't even care about the looks. He was just really to have. What did he write? Wrote that he was just looking for something different each time. He didn't even tell me. Even at some point, because I had such a fear of losing him, I didn't even know already that he was cheating. I just felt it in my body that something wasn't right for months, and I couldn't sleep myself. I couldn't eat myself. At some point, I went to therapy because I thought something is wrong with me. That I wanted him so much that I was feeling so sick and was just shaking the whole night. And I had so much pain in my heart and my stomach, and my heart was racing in the night, and he didn't say a word. That was the most shocking. He knew how I felt, and he didn't say a single word. So, and then when I step by step found it out, he still was denying it, until at some point I had evidences, and only the few times where he slept with a woman where I had evidence, there he then said it's true. But But there were so many others that he still is denying, but I know he slept with them. It's just that he's trying to protect himself. I guess it's in general, he has a very professional mask for the outer world, but really what's going on inside him that I think only he and I at this point know.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's wrong with him. But I understand, of course, I attracted him. What's funny is even that my mom said after she was also in shock what he did, because no one really expected this from him, because he actually, when you talk to him, he seems to be a bit shy and everything. So that was really a shock. But she said he was actually like my father, not as worse as my father was, which died when I was 3 years old. So it kind of makes sense why I attracted this into my life. But yeah, he was like the same kind of thinking, and he blamed me that all of that happened, and somehow thinks that it was okay that he has done that. So.
And are you still in contact with him?
Just for when it's about the money now, or other things, but really just the superficial stuff.
Yeah. I would just just on a practical level, I would try and cut contact as soon as possible.
Yeah, it is. All of this happened I moved out 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I cut the contact quite quickly. Just now that, yeah, we just have to solve some financial stuff still, but yeah.
Yeah. So more than likely, you've got something in your system which doubts yourself. So all of us can have it, but you most probably knew there was something right, but you didn't trust yourself. You didn't trust what you were saying to yourself. And that's why when you went through the last period, it began to drive you crazy, because you could feel there's something wrong. And then because you would be honest, so because in that situation, if he was feeling that bad, you would be honest. You could only imagine that he would be honest. So you couldn't imagine that it would be that he would function in a different way from you. You were projecting onto him the way you would behave.
Well, that's so out of my world, the way he's behaving.
Yeah.
I mean, I read books about it now just to understand it somehow. I even went to the brothel myself. Is that the English word? Where the prostitutes work?
Yeah, brothel.
I went there myself at some point to ask him if he was there, and well, they didn't say the truth, obviously, but then I could say, like, I was in there, I know how it looks like there, because he was denying it the whole time, even though I already knew he was there. And it's just, I mean, I'm over it for the most part now, but in the beginning it was like a total shock.
Yeah,
like,
it's really
I
shocking.
still don't understand how people, I just don't.
Yeah, because in your mind you wouldn't behave like that, so you're not looking out for people that behave like that. So it's something you've actually got to teach yourself, is when people are giving it, it's not that you've got to start looking at life like that, but you've got to understand that other people can behave like that, and they don't see themselves as doing anything bad because they've got a different setup, a different brain, different conditioning. Deep down they know they're doing something bad, but on the human level, like you said, he blames you for it, and that's common. Like, I've had this situation before, that at the end, the end they blame you. Like, I think a lot of people have experienced this, and it's actually a really great lesson. It's really painful, and it is going to take some time to get over that shock, but it's actually also a really beautiful lesson for you to learn lots of things about you, because there'll be a part in you that is listening to the outside world more than listening to yourself, and you've got to listen to yourself in this life. That's a really great lesson, that your opinion and your feelings are more important, not more important, but they are more important to be listened to than others. If you feel something isn't balanced, then and you feel there's something wrong, then you've got to trust yourself in that. Like, you've got to, you see, somebody that trusted their feelings would have got out of that a lot quicker. And you most probably do trust your feelings in a lot of situations, and it's a combination of the fact that you didn't imagine that somebody could behave like that. So when you ask them if they're lying, you didn't imagine that they could say no and actually they are lying. You didn't imagine that somebody could allow you to feel so bad and still carry on lying. So there's a learning part that you've got to learn about what humans can be like, and there's also this part about listening to yourself and forgiving yourself for not listening to yourself. That there's nothing, this happens to a lot of people, like it's happened to me. I've been absolutely conned financially by a partner, and but yeah, they took quite a lot of things, and then bit by bit finding out the lies, and it's absolutely shocking. And I don't think that that's uncommon. I think that happens. I think that that happens to a lot of people, not just women but men as well. Maybe it's more common for women, like to experience that. And don't focus on any blame for him, because he's totally different. But at the same time, really don't ever get in contact again with him for whatever reason, no matter what story he tells you and no matter how much compassion you feel with him or for him.
Yeah, no, he doesn't want that. Also, he was trying to hold on to it when I found it out, and when I kicked him out. In the end, I left because I didn't want to be in this apartment anymore. But after his pain was gone of breaking up, he doesn't want to be with me again. I mean, he would have been, but I told my whole family, so he knows now that he doesn't even have to try to come back. Like, they would kick him out of this house immediately. And that was the point where he then gave it up, because he's a coward. And I'm just in shock, because he always talked about himself, about being the most manly man and everything.
Of course.
But maybe not. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
You always try to project what you feel you're not. Like, so that's what people do. So because they don't feel that, then they've tried to project this strength.
Yeah.
But don't focus on any of that. What you've got to focus on is this forgiveness for yourself, that happened, like total understanding, and seeing that you can trust yourself, that you knew that there was something not quite right about that situation, and you've got to explore why that happened. So you can work with someone one-on-one to explore why that happened, because it most probably is connected to your mother's relationship with your dad and your relationship when you were younger, and being talked out of what you feel and what you think too many times, and beginning to know when to trust yourself and when you can trust yourself.
Yeah, it makes sense. Also, when I went to this intensive coaching, that was a hypnosis. Yeah, session where I thought I was going through the pain I felt as a child of the fear of losing him, which I don't think is true now. Maybe it was, but I think subconsciously I already knew that something was totally wrong. I just didn't have the evidence.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then in hypnosis, we went through the whole story with my father. So I think that was a good step to healing all of that. What happened to ours.
And be open to the fact that you might always have a tendency towards that. If you've had a lot of relationships and a lot of experience where you've not been taught to trust yourself, you might have a tendency to trust other people over you. So the way to combat that is to have close friends or relatives that can also from the outside help guide you sometimes, or a therapist that you speak to, because if you have been taught, that's the way your brain will have grown, that you listen to the outside before you listen to yourself. And if you have had that way, then you might pick that again in the future. So listen to other people that are around you, and also have confidence that you can trust yourself. Like, this occurred because you didn't trust yourself, and you can trust yourself. You can trust what you feel and what you think. That's the most important key to it. And you're so lucky that that's happened to you young, because it means that you're aware now of it, and learn about the warning signs, like learn practically, because you might not have learned them intuitively, especially if you didn't have a father around growing up. You You learn practically what to look out for.
Yeah, that was also a big part because I'm not a person that is going easily into relationships or easily sleeping with men. Not because I didn't want to, just because I was really scared. Now that I have completely opened up to him, I know that in the future it won't be such a problem because I somehow
Yeah.
went further than that now. But um, yeah, there was also a big part that I thought that if he wants me so much, like there must be something um, for me, like we somehow belong together or something, which
But that sometimes can happen, like when a man is really like going all out to try to impress you and try to win you over, that sometimes can be a sign that they have a big need there, and that need might not be fulfilled by you. Like,
no,
yeah,
he's totally asleep, and he will be asleep for a long, long time. He's believing so much into this whole money thing and his career and everything, and also the need to free himself from all of this, from the cycle with so many women just for a few seconds to have an orgasm. I understand it. It's just that it disappoints me so much because he's very intelligent, like logical wise, to be able, or he has been able to speak about me, about the spiritual stuff, as if he would understand it. And in the beginning I believed him. Then when I got to know him closer, I knew that he actually doesn't understand it at all. Like he doesn't feel it the way I
yeah,
feel it. He maybe somehow gets it logically, but that's not really it.
yeah,
So yeah, and he also make me feel really bad for the whole way I'm in, for the whole like enlightenment thing I'm in. But that's part of me. I just can't
yeah,
put it aside. I
yeah.
can't.
And really focus energy on when you begin to think about him.
Yeah,
Move your energy back to the consciousness and the presence. Like, don't allow that energy to come in too much. Like, keep moving your energy back to consciousness and presence. Like, because that story has, because of the way it is, and because he lied to you and you're shocked, the story can keep appearing in your head. So keep pulling yourself away from it. Like, explore it and explore the feelings that are there, um, but the most important part is seeing that you can trust yourself and forgiving yourself, and really like letting that energy go and connecting it to any past things that are still undone in you that need to be seen, and see it actually as a growth experience, not as a negative experience.
yeah, I do. Also, the moments where I feel where there are a few seconds where I really still feel like physically pain is when I wake up from a nap, or when I in
Yeah,
the morning. That just, there are really a few seconds where I feel like not being wanted or I feel alone. That's where the pain comes up,
yeah,
and it's just a few seconds and then it goes away. And usually already today I feel so much better. I feel full of energy, like I feel this warmth inside me, like
yeah,
it's there again.
yeah,
Was Oh, my energy was all over the place when I was with him. That was just awful.
yeah. And the reason it was all over the place is because you weren't listening to yourself, and your body was like, listen, listen. Like, it was screaming at you to listen. That was it was also because there were old karmas coming up, so old dynamics coming up, but it's predominantly because your energy, like, we know things. When you're around someone, you know things. We have this telepathy and intuitive side, and then when you let somebody talk you out of what you feel and what you think, then it can be very unbalancing, and that's when the body tends to go into a chaos. And just the other thing that you can remember is that there's a really difficult experience to go through with another person, and you've handled it. You've been able to cope with it in a mature way, and you're able to reflect on it, and you're able to see it as growth. And so there's nothing that stops that being actually a really beautiful experience that's happened, that creates growth and evolving of the personality. Like, don't look at it as a negative thing.
Yeah. No, I don't. My self-esteem is a bit low now
Yeah,
because after everything.
yeah,
But I will get. Then also, I feel like I feel a bit stuck financial wise because he was the one who was earning a lot of money and I'm still studying and I'm 25 and I have the feeling of just going into the world and seeking for enlightenment. But that's really, I already had my awakening, not just one awakening, but it's, I just have this feeling of having to go somewhere. But obviously I have to finish my studies now because if I don't do it now, I won't do it.
Yeah.
I won't do it another time. And also in the winter, I had my first vision. It just came from nowhere, and I knew somehow that I saw like sticks made out of golden, made out of gold. They were in a circle, and they were turning like not fully around, but back and forth. And then they blended me with the golden light, and my right eye where I saw it, that it was hurting for 2 days straight, and I didn't really knew like what it meant, but I had this intuition that I somehow am stuck in this relationship, and that's why they don't turn around fully. Like that was the
Yeah.
feeling and yeah, I don't know. I just, have you ever had a vision? It was so weird.
I don't
I
know
was,
if it's the same as what you say, but I feel like your body and your feelings and your intuition is so intelligent, and that you can really like trust that, like trust what you feel and what you think.
yeah, I think that's a big part of me learning that because I get easily scared by society standards, that I still don't have finished studies, that I'm not earning enough money, that I'm at the moment I'm living at my mom's house again, but in 2 weeks I'm going to live alone in another apartment, and I'm a bit scared, but I also feel excited because I will be free and I will have like, I will be just for myself, and I love being alone. I just really love it.
Yeah, I'll send you a book that you might find beneficial afterwards, like that will help you with the work stuff that you
Thank
might
you.
enjoy. It's like it's an audio book that you might enjoy listening to.
Yeah, I will. I will listen. Okay, Lisa.
Oh, nice to connect with you again.
Yeah, that was nice. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
lots of love to you. Bye,
Bye.
sweetie.